Hey everyone, I'm going to be talking about the new Valentine stand the Townstar will be releasing and putting on sale. I'll discuss the sale date, utility, best use case, and my thoughts. On Monday, February 13th at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, Townstar will release the Valentine's for sale in the Gala Games Store. The Valentine stand will be a legendary NFT that costs $300. There will be 400 in supply for sale, which is a fairly good supply. It will be available for purchase using either Gala, Town, or credit card, and it has a purchase limit of 2 per transaction. As for its utility, it's very simple. It will provide 5 passive strawberries in a range. It does have a road requirement, but that's just fine. Now, to be fair, strawberries aren't that hard to make. Regardless, having a way to get up to 5 passive strawberries can save multiple spots in certain builds, as it can remove the need to even have strawberry fields or farmers as well. With the utility explained, I will talk about the best use case and share several examples I made in the Town Guide EU visualizer. So we are going to have to use our imagination a bit here because the Valentine stand is not in game yet. But I did find something similar, and that would be the legendary wheat stand, which gives 5 passive wheat. So just pretend that's a Valentine stand and it's giving 5 passive strawberries instead for the sake of these examples. So this first example is using a red steel build. This is actually the no NFT red steel build that I shared. Most of these examples are just a couple buildings placed, so all these other examples won't be actual builds, just keep that in mind. But for this situation, you can put the Valentine stand and any steel mills next to it will have 5 strawberries provided to it. And then it goes lower quantities the farther the steel mills are, so these 2 steel mills would get 4 passive strawberries. Now red steel needs 14 strawberries for it. So you really won't notice much of a difference with a Valentine stand. Like, it may help you get rid of a tractor or 2 and get rid of a couple strawberry fields, but that's about it. You really won't notice much of a difference on the red steel build. Now there are other builds that use much less strawberries, and you'll definitely notice a difference on those. So the next example I have here is the chocolate covered strawberries craft that uses 6 strawberries in it. Now, this stand provides up to 5 passive strawberries. So even in this build, you're still going to need strawberry fields so you can get that last strawberry or the chocolate covered strawberries. So in this example right here, I had the Valentine stand in the middle of a couple of candy shops. And all those candy shops would be making chocolate covered strawberries, and they'd have 5 passive strawberries provided to them. So they would only need 1 more strawberry along with the other materials, and they'll be able to craft chocolate strawberries even quicker. So this isn't fully passive strawberries still, but it does help a lot in this situation. Now, if for some reason you were to have 2 Valentine stands, then yes, you could make a build for chocolate covered strawberries using 2 Valentine stands and have a ton of these candy shops with full passive strawberries. But going on to the next example, sangria. So sangria needs 2 strawberries along with other materials. So really 1 Valentine stand can get you all the strawberries you need for all the wineries making sangria, which is really good. So this means you won't even need to have strawberry fields in a sangria build. Now moving on to the next example, fancy cake. Fancy cake also needs 2 strawberries. Fancy cake is a hard craft, and when you do a fancy cake build, you really don't make a lot of them. So you actually don't really need that many strawberries. So in this little example, we have the Valentine stand providing passive strawberries to 3 buildings. Now, you do save space since you don't need the you probably save 1 spot since you usually use 2 strawberry fields in a decorated or a fancy cake build, but you probably won't notice much help here either. It will save you a space, but you probably won't notice much help. At least that's all I can say for this example right here. Next example is magic powder, which requires 2 strawberries as well. Now, magic powder feeds into other things, which I can't remember at the top of my head, but one of them is Boom Games. That is all I remember. But the Valentine stand will help somewhat here, as you'll probably have a couple buildings making magic powder. And it'll make it to where you won't have to have any strawberry fields for that, which is good. So in this situation, you will notice that it's going to help you out. Next situation, or next example, is jam. Thing with jam is you need 10 strawberries for each jam. So having one Valentine stand will reduce the amount of strawberry fields you need if you can pack up your bakeries right next to the Valentine stand, but you're still going to need lots of strawberries. Okay, so it does depend on the build. In this example, I am kind of basing it off just some kind of jam meta, which we've had before, but jam also feeds into another item, and that would be the food parcel. So the food parcel needs a jam. Now in that situation, you really only need like one bakery. And if you have one bakery making jam, provided with a Valentine stand, it might save you just like one spot. So it really depends on the situation, how much jam you're making. But if it's a jam meta, you will notice a difference. If it is not a jam meta, you probably won't notice that much of a difference here either. Now, one more example I have to share here is 2 Valentine stands with jam. So this is really interesting, and I was actually pondering this for a while. In a jam meta, it will help you a lot, but you're still going to need to make strawberry fields. In other builds, you do not like food parcel, you really don't need 2 Valentine stands. That's overkill. Now there is something called a jam rush, and I believe this is a pretty expensive rush. But if you were to have 2 Valentine stands, you could provide a full 10 passive strawberries to about 4 bakeries next to it. So if you have the right NFTs, you can execute a jam rush at the very beginning and quickly craft jam and sell it for a ton of cash endpoints. Now, this is a very expensive rush that I would like to do, but I probably won't even do this myself. It's just too many NFTs going into it. But I believe that this makes Jam Rush viable. It'll make it into a good rush. But yeah, that's the only use case I can think of here for Jam. So that's all the examples I have here. I do believe more crafts will come out. It has been said that more crafts will come out that use strawberries. So the Valentine stand will be useful in those. Hopefully that helps you understand the use case for the Valentine stand. Finally, my thought. Based on how unique this NFT is, and since there's no other way to get strawberries more efficiently, and recent demand for NFTs in the recent sales, I believe that this NFT will sell out within a couple of hours. There are 400 of them, which means people who are planning to get one will probably get one when the sale happens. The utility for this NFT is good, but it's likely an NFT that most people will only be using in specific builds, and not an NFT that I would recommend for new players. I speculate that the aftermarket price for this NFT will be either about the same at $300 or just a bit higher than that at $350 or up to $400. With this NFT being added, it does make me think that we will see a couple of competitions in the next 2 months that will utilize strawberries in some way. Now the question is, should you buy it? I think not. There will be more general use case NFTs in the future, no doubt. I don't think you're going to miss out on some game-changing utility if you don't get this one. Now, of course, NFT collectors out there who want to have one of each type of stand will end up picking up one of these anyways, and more power to you then. I myself am planning to get 1 or 2 at most to potentially help with the next couple of competitions. although I don't plan on keeping the second one long term. And I do like the artwork of several of these NFTs, but this one, I really do like the artwork. I think they did a great job on this visual. That's all I have for this video. If you really want me to cover an upcoming NFT sale, let me know. I don't plan on making videos like this for every single new NFT that's going on sale, unless people really want to see that. Let me know if you're planning on buying the Valentine stand or what you think about it. Consider liking the video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate your support and I thank you for watching.